birth certificate is not important. To prove us that death is certain. So every child brings his or her death certificate. That is dukkha. That is suffering. Jarapi dukkha. And this child is now going on growing, developing, improving, changing. After developing, then going down and down. Can you stop this? It is not due to your original sin. That is the nature of the combinations of elements and energy. They cannot remain forever without changing. Changes must take place. There is no God, no devil behind in these changes. By praying, worshipping, offering, you cannot stop your old age. It is natural. If it is natural, your duty is to understand it, not to cry, not to worry, prepare to see the end of this suffering one day. That is why religion is needed. That is why you are here. When you go to a Chinese sensei, he examines your pulse. Then he says, oh, you have more wind. Fong, I don't know what it is. You have more fong. Because when he examines the pulse, he can understand this one jumps very fast. And he thinks the wind, this one, you got more wind in your body. That is your sickness. So there is no such sickness called wind. Wind cannot create sickness. There are various kind of medicines, new discoveries, scientific discoveries to cure our sicknesses. But more and more new sicknesses appear from time to time in different countries, according to their way of life, food, their character, temperament, and the moods and environment. These are natural. All these sicknesses create suffering. So we never experience a life where there are no sicknesses. Why sicknesses appear? Why do we experience this dukkha, this suffering? Because of the friction, clashes, imbalance, disagreements of the elements, energies in our physical body. When you go to a Chinese sensei, he examines your pulse. Then he says, oh, you have more wind. Fong, I don't know what it is. You have more fong. Because when he examines the pulse, he can understand this one jumps very fast. And he thinks the wind, this one, you got more wind in your body. That is your sickness. So there is no such sickness called wind. Wind cannot create sickness. That is his diagnosis. Another doctor says, oh, you have more heat. Your body is very heaty. That is their diagnosis. They know only these two things. But these signals, indications, appear due to some other reason, causes. They cannot understand. So doctors, throughout their life, they try to cure our sicknesses. They cure one sickness, then create another sickness. When they give antibiotics, they cure one sickness, create one or two more new sicknesses. After that, they have to give another one to cure that one. But they have medicine. This is the nature of our life. Then who is responsible for these sicknesses? It is natural. The Buddha was the most holy, compassionate, religious teacher who lived on this earth. He too had to suffer from 12 kinds of sicknesses. He did not want to hide. Then he explained why I had to suffer. There he mentioned, some of our sicknesses that we are experiencing, suffering today, is due to certain bad deeds that we have done during our previous birth. Not only the present life is responsible for that, even the last birth also responsible for this. There was a doctor in America, he's a psychiatrist also, Dr. Edgar Casey. He had incurable sicknesses, condemned by many doctors, but he developed this psychic power to get into trance without depending on any god or any religion, just pure psychic power. So when he developed this, he found out the medicine through his psychic power. By using this, he could manage to get rid of his sickness. Then he thought, why not I use this to help others? When he announced, more and more people started and is consulted. So when he got into trance, to some people, he says, I am sorry. It is very difficult to cure this sickness, because during your last birth, previous birth, you have done such a bad deed. And this is the bad effect you are experiencing. Very difficult to cure. But this man was not a Buddhist. He never studied karma, never studied rebirth. When he is normal, he doesn't know anything about karma or rebirth. But when he gets into trance, through his psychic power, he says, yes, during your last birth you have done certain bad karma, this is the effect. In the Buddha's teaching, you can see, Kamma vipakaja abadha. Abadha means sickness. Certain sicknesses we had to face due to our bad deeds that we have done as bad karma. Again he says, all your bad feelings, sicknesses, troubles and problems and sufferings are not due to your previous bad karma. Many of them are due to your present way of life. How you live, how you handle this physical body, what sort of food, environment, wind and heat, and your behavior, your character, your temperament, all these things create so many problems and sicknesses, not only during your previous birth, what you have done. So sicknesses are natural, but we can minimize, we can reduce many of our sicknesses if we know how to lead a normal life. We are not leading a normal life, very artificial life. So not the original thing. Then decay. Everybody likes to remain as youth, young boys and girls. When they come to know, when they see the wrinkles, what a pity. And they found out their old photograph and compare, see how handsome at that time, now don't know what is happening, something is wrong somewhere. They worry. That is called suffering. They don't like to grow old. But can you stop? You can go and pray to God or Buddha, asking him not to suffer from old age. I remember what Bernard Shaw, a very good joker and writer, British, what he has said. He said, we were taught that we were created by God As an old man, now I can experience how I suffer because of this old age. I really cannot understand why God cannot create us not to suffer like this. I think something is wrong somewhere in your creation. Next time, if I get the chance to come and meet you, I think I can tell you how to create. He was joking. George Bernard Shaw. This old age is a real miserable thing. You have seen how your grandmother, grandfather, your father, your mother, and others, when you go to old folks' home, how they suffer. Suffer for what? Is it due to their original sin? That is the nature of existence. Nobody is responsible. Nobody is behind them. They are all. The combinations of these matters and elements remain as a bundle, now dissolving. Then the old age can be seen, noticeable. It is natural. Dukkha, that is suffering. You cannot stop this. After that, death. In spite of sicknesses, old age, troubles, problems, sufferings, difficulties, worries, still you like to live. You don't like to die. Every day and night crying and worrying and accusing, complaining about your pain. But still you want to live. Live for what? Nobody knows. A craving is so grave in our mind. I can remember many years ago, I was invited to bless a very old lady who was about to die. But she was fully conscious, can talk, but doctors say very, very uncertain, today or tomorrow, pick the bucket. So I was invited. After my chanting, very old lady, I think about 8 years old, she called her husband and whispered, told him something. Then I thought, she's asking her husband to give a donation to the temple. After this blessing, that is their usual custom, Then, but the man kept quiet, he's keeping quiet. Then I asked, what did she say? She says, 3 days ago, she brought the social welfare lottery ticket and asked me to find out whether there's any prize, She remembered the date, This dying lady, See the nature of craving. Even at that moment we are not willing to give up. This is one of the reasons why we suffer. We have to suffer. In the end, the Buddha pointed out, what is the cause? Where is the mistake for all our suffering? I will mention later. He discovered it. Who is responsible for our suffering? Who creates all this suffering? He pointed out. Nothing to do with God or devil or ghost. So we don't like to die. Why we don't like to die? It is not that death is miserable. Death is not painful. We create our own imagination. We are scared of death, thinking that it is painful. Remember, death is not painful. Very easy to die. I remember another lady, Bansa area. I was invited to go and bless this lady, also very old lady. When I entered into the room, she paid respect and very cheerful, smiling face, and she was listening to the chanting. When I was chanting, I was watching.